rationale for smuggling illegal drugs to have two nuclear-capable SA-2 missiles mounted on their launchers, hidden in the hold under bags of sugar. Although the missiles were not nuclear-armed, the incident demonstrates North Korea's capability to use a freighter in U.S. coastal waters to launch a nuclear EMP attack anonymously in order to escape U.S. retaliation. On October 27, 2013, the Knights Templars, a criminal drug cartel, blacked out Mexico's Michoacan state and its population of 420,000 so they could terrorize the people and paralyze the police. The Knights, cloaked by the blackout, entered towns and villages and publicly executed leaders opposed to the drug trade. On June 9, 2014, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula used mortars and rockets to destroy transmission towers, plunging into darkness all of Yemen, a country of 16 cities and 24 million people. It is the first time in history that terrorists have put an entire nation into blackout. In July 2014, according to press reports, a Russian cyberbug called Dragonfly infected 1,000 electric power plants in Western Europe and the United States for purposes unknown, possibly to plant logic bombs in power plant computers to disrupt operations in the future. On January 25, 2015, terrorists attacked transmission towers and blacked out 80% of Pakistan, a nuclear weapon state. On March 31, 2015, a mysterious nationwide blackout temporarily plunged into chaos Turkey, a NATO member and important U.S. ally, reportedly from a cyber attack by Iran. In 2015, the White House issued a draft executive order acknowledging that natural EMP from a geomagnetic superstorm is a potentially catastrophic threat to the nation. A NASA report, July 23, 2014, warns that on July 23, 2012, Earth narrowly missed experiencing a geomagnetic superstorm that could have collapsed electric grids worldwide and put at risk the lives of billions. NASA estimates that the likelihood of a catastrophic geostorm happening over the next decade is 12%. Blackout Wars is primarily about failure of the U.S. government to protect the electric grid and the heroic struggle of a small number of experts, political leaders, and state governments to meet this challenge. Terrible and unprecedented as is the danger from any of those threats singly or in combination as a blackout war, solutions that are technologically sound and not only cost-effective but inexpensive relative to the threat are readily at hand. Protecting the electric grid against nuclear EMP attack is key. Nuclear EMP is the worst threat, even worse than natural EMP from a geostorm, because it can damage small electronic systems and inflict deeper damage on the grid and other critical infrastructures. If the grid is protected against the worst threat, nuclear EMP, this would significantly mitigate all the other threats. However, the biggest obstacle to protecting the American people from a catastrophic blackout is not technological or financial, but political. The federal government is failing spectacularly to protect the electric grid and the American people from nuclear EMP or from any of the other catastrophic threats because of a self-interested and wholly improper relationship between the electric power industry, represented by the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, and the U.S. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC. Attorney William R. Harris, an eyewitness to the NERC-FERC chicanery and a former legal advisor to the Reagan administration, writes, "The NERC-FERC relationship has elements of a suicide pact." Harris, "The NERC-FERC relationship has elements of a suicide pact. NERC and FERC are engaged in a mutually beneficial, parasitic relationship. Each needs the other and thrives on magnification of the monopolistic powers of the other. Only NERC can propose reliability standards. Only FERC can ratify standards, however defective and however damaging to the society at large. NERC works hard to prevent the Congress from authorizing FERC to modify or otherwise improve NERC-proposed reliability standards. FERC discourages the Congress from providing authority for more